In this episode I think we're going to look at sanding the body shell, ready to paint, and we'll be doing the rear wing as well. Just before I start, if you are new to Tamiya RCs with these build kits and cutting these polycarbonate bodies out, what I would suggest to you is you keep hold of these fairly big straight bits that we cut off like this. They will come in handy at some point for repairing the bodies if they split and etc. So handy tip there, keep these bits because they will come in useful when you have to try and repair the body shells. What I do tend to do is, once I get to my sanding stage, is I get a nice soft cloth so that when I turn it over and the bits of the outer body are resting on the surface, it doesn't scratch too much and allows me to get better purchase on some things, knowing that I'm not going to scratch the protective shell, or the protective film is what I meant to say. Can't get my worms out again. So I'm going to start off with this, I think it's P220 grit on the wing. We'll slide that out of the way, we don't want any dust, too much dust on it. And again, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's quite a big bits that need sanding down there. So we just crack on really. I think I'm getting there, do excuse me. One of the problems you may have when you're sanding is that this protective film, you can't really get the pressure on to sand that off quite a lot of times, so you must look closely at where you've got to physically, because the plastic film can lull you into a sense that you haven't actually sanded quite as much off as you actually have, if that makes any sense. But you may also wish to use, this is my round needle file, just to try and get the actual inner corner to a nice round profile. All the while I'm checking to make sure I've got no sharp edges. And that's how we carry on. And I'll just finish this bit off and come back to you when I start on the body. I've finished sanding all of that rear wing down, so hopefully that's ready now for spraying, which I think, looking at it, I may well probably spray this orange to go with the body colour and not bother with the chrome sticker, but we shall see how we go. So we can move on to sanding the body shell. I have actually started this, hopefully you should be able to see now this edge is nicely up to the red line, and I've just got this bit to do, so we'll start with that bit. And I've got my dowel, and because I've left quite a bit of spare excess polycarbonate on there, I've gone to my I think it's 320 grit, yep, which is my coarsest sandpaper that I'm prepared to use, and I think it's wearing out a bit, but we'll see how we go. And when I'm doing the wheel arches, I tend to go sort of in line with the cut most of the time, but if, like here, we've got quite a bit to get off, I find you can take more off in, shall we say, one movement if you go across the cut. Unfortunately, this means it's quite noisy, so I probably won't be talking much through this. What I also tend to do though is put a twist in as well, like so, and I find that helps me keep the smooth line of the curve. So we'll just give it a go for a bit and see how we get on. And if your paper starts getting tangled or messed up like that, we can always undo the wrapping round and wrap it round the other way to get some more fresh sandpaper. What I've also can use is this. This is actually from some of my plane kits, and it's a laminate of balsa wood with sandpaper actually glued to each side rather than just wrapped around. So I found this also transposes into my RC builds. About right. I'll tunnel it from this side. I've still got a bit to do here. That still needs just another quarter of a millimetre off just to get that right. So we'll carry on with that, and we'll come back when I've all finished. The last thing for today is to tell you my preference about once I've finished sanding or finished the main sanding, is I can still feel a slight roughness to the edges. So in that instance, what I do is I take some of my P800 grit sandpaper, wrap it round my dowel, and then just following the line of the cut, work it up and down and around like so, just to take off those sanding grooves from the coarser grit paper. When I get to internal corners like this, or bends like this that are a bit too thin for my dowel, I generally fold the paper up and try and get a nice curve on the edge, and then unfortunately it's a bit difficult going with the cut, so in these instances I do just lightly go across the cut just to finish it all off and make it all lovely and smooth. And if you've never done this before, give it a go and you'll see virtually immediately the difference. And obviously if you haven't got a dowel or anything, you can still go over it like that. I would recommend you do fold it over though, because you don't want it folding around and scratching the inside of your body shell, and like so. And now we're all cut out and we're ready for masking, which we'll show you tomorrow once I've give it a nice good clean and dry up. So with that, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next episode where, like I say, we will be hopefully masking it all off and maybe even spraying the black. So I'll see you tomorrow.